Kia ora, I'm Brandon Ty, and this is the latest episode of the Weekly Diary video. We'll kick things off with the weekly recap. Total value traded last week was $1.4 billion, with 64% of that value traded on market. We had a trade count of 263,000, and we also had a record number of trades on Friday, with over 72,000 trades over the course of the day. This was the sixth time in the last 2 weeks that we've broken our record number of trades in a day. The S&P NZX 50 fell 14% last week, closing at 9,826. NZX were not alone in experiencing a volatile week, with the S&P 500 falling 8.8%, the ASX 200 falling 10.9%, and the FTSE 100 falling 16.9%. Further information on the weekly recap, including the value and volume of the NZX top 10 securities, can be found in the weekly diary. Moving on to our highs and lows. Onto our highs, Finsoft Solutions were up 18%, Just Life Group were up 1.5%. Onto our lows, Serco Group were down 37%, Vista Group were down 31%, and Sky Network Television were down 27%. Next up are notable events of the week. In local news, we saw a number of companies releasing earnings updates in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Air New Zealand and Tourism Holding Limited announced they are no longer providing guidance for the 2020 financial year, due to the uncertainties around the COVID-19 pandemic. Last week, Auckland International Airport have lowered their previous guidance, and this morning have subsequently announced they are suspending earnings guidance for the year to 30 June 2020. On Tuesday, Finsoft Solutions Limited received a takeover notice to acquire all the ordinary shares of Finsoft at $1.15. The Finsoft Board Committee recommends that shareholders take no action at this time in relation to the proposed offer until shareholders receive further guidance, including the independent advisor's report. And finally, our week ahead. On Saturday, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced that everyone arriving in New Zealand from overseas, with the exception of those from the Pacific Islands, are to self-isolate for 14 days, beginning at 1 a.m. on Monday. This morning, the RBNZ has announced that the OCR is now 0.25%, reduced from 1%, and will remain at this level for at least the next 12 months. Additionally, we have seen further announcements from Air New Zealand, Auckland Airport and others in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We will be keeping a close eye on the market open today on the back of these announcements. We have 4 companies releasing financial statements this week, including global milk producers Fonterra and Sydney Milk. Lastly, the FTSE index rebalance is effective from this Friday. One change to be aware of is that Ryman Healthcare is moving from the mid-cap to the large-cap index, which will provide added exposure to the NZX listed healthcare provider. Thank you for watching the Weekly Diary video. Don't forget to check out the Weekly Diary and the links below for more information, and we will see you next week.